Crunchyroll just announced that Solo Leveling is their top anime for 2024, which is kind of crazy, especially because Solo Leveling is a Korean IP, then turned into a Japanese anime and is actually beating out a lot of the other anime out there. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how Solo Leveling became this popular, starting from the very beginning, why this Solo Leveling anime, in my opinion, is also popular, and why it's beating out a lot of the other anime on the platform. I'm also going to be talking about my predictions for the webtoon to anime pipeline. But who am I to talk about all of this? Guys, I'm Brandon Chen. I'm a writer-producer for the manga webtoon space. I run a studio, Inspired Productions. I think we're one of, if not the largest producer of webtoon projects in the United States. I work with publishers all over the world, and the successful ones we try to take to animation. Before we get into the video, please drop a like for the YouTube algorithm. Really helps us out, and subscribe if you're interested. Again, more in the educational side of manga, webtoon, and anime production. Definitely subscribe. Really helps us out. Now, let's get into the origins of Solo Leveling. As a webtoon producer myself, Solo Leveling was one of the first series that I actually consumed that came over from the manga industry, and Solo Leveling is actually the basis that we use for a lot of fantasy action series. What do I mean by the basis? I think that Studio Redice, who is the art production team behind Solo Leveling, is one of, if not the strongest in Korea for action webtoons. Like, just period, flat out. They did a lot of the series, such as, again, Solo Leveling, which was their jump start. Then they did Omniscient Reader, which is, again, also getting an anime. It is one of the largest action webtoons on Webtoon US. They also did Overgeared, The Last Adventurer. They did the return of the, I think it's Archmage after 4,000 years or something like that. Basically, a lot of their series are honestly some of the most popular webtoons in the action space, action fantasy space, period. They're really good at producing really high quality art, and a lot of their stuff is adapted, again, from the web novel space. And a lot of other studios, again, Korean studios, also Japanese studios, use Solo Leveling as a reference, especially on the art side, for what we think the meta is in the webtoon action space. And the meta being, again, like really cool main characters. The eye glow was something that Solo Leveling did really well. A lot of like glowing aura around their bodies. And Solo Leveling was the first webtoon, not the first, but one of the ones to really bring and put webtoons, again, on the map from an international standpoint, action webtoons in particular, but also really bring out that style of art to more of a global level again. But Solo Leveling was not always a webtoon. Started off as a web novel in South Korea. Then the Studio Redice, again, took that web novel, adapted it to a webtoon. The world absorbed Solo Leveling because it became the biggest webtoon out there. And then Japan was like, yo, we need a piece of this, especially with anime and manga starting to grow in popularity. They're always looking for more content to bring to Japan. And they adapted Solo Leveling, again, translated into Japanese. And again, they did the novel. And then with the popularity of Solo Leveling then growing in Japan, the webtoon industry was really starting to grow there at the time. Then, which is only natural for series that are really popping off in the Japanese entertainment industry, they were getting their anime adaptation. You know, you might be wondering, like, Solo Leveling is a webtoon. Like, isn't there like a big difference between the webtoon space and the manga space and the anime space? Like, Solo Leveling, in my opinion, falls somewhat into a combination of shonen action, which is something closer to Jujutsu Kaisen, where there's really, really intensive fights, and isekai, which again is something very popular in Japan as well. Like, if you take those two things, combine them together, you're kind of getting Solo Leveling, in my opinion. And Crunchyroll is, again, really at the forefront of the Solo Leveling anime adaptation. You know, I'm sure that they got investment from an amalgamation of different places, but Crunchyroll is really investing a lot into Solo Leveling success, and you can really see that. You know, in my opinion, the way I always see it is like, if a series is getting immense amounts of marketing from the publisher before that series even comes out, and even before the anime has its success, then my assumption is that, honestly, that the platform has a pretty interesting stake in that project. And that was really evident with Crunchyroll. They've been pushing Solo Leveling ever since they announced it. They have stacked it with insane talent. A1 Pictures, who are the guys behind Sword Art Online. They also have Hiroyuki Sawano on the music, who was behind the Attack on Titan music. He was also behind Seven Deadly Sins, Kill la Kill, a lot of very popular anime composed by Hiroyuki Sawano. The dub was done really well. The voice acting, I think that the English dub was going viral, honestly, on TikTok here in the US. I don't know about the rest of the world, but English dub was done very well. And the Japanese dub was also done extremely well from the episodes that I've seen. Sun Jin-woo's voice actor is really good at screaming, I'll tell you that. But yeah, Crunchyroll has really been investing a lot into Solo Leveling success. But this is not their first webtoon to anime rodeo. They've done a lot of other investments into other webtoon to anime adaptations. A good example would be God of High School, which was done by Studio Mappa. Again, a powerhouse studio, but that one failed for an amalgamation of different reasons. And it wasn't the animation, it was actually the writing, in my opinion. Tower of God, season 1 was okay. Season 2 apparently was a flop. A lot of people are complaining about season 2's animation. That was actually the reason for season 2 of Tower of God not performing as well as, you know, a lot of the other anime on the platform. If I look at other platforms like Netflix, I think Netflix did Lookism and a lot of other different like webtoon to anime adaptations, and none of them have really hit at the same level of success as Solo Leveling, you know, and why do I think that is? When I look at a lot of the other series that were released, it's either a question of the animation or a question of the adaptation in terms of like screenplay and writing. When I look at Solo Leveling, it's paced out really well. The animation, they really dumped a lot into it. The music's great, just the direction's great. Solo Leveling just has a heavy amount of investment and it pays off. You can tell that they put a lot of effort and a lot of money into that project. Whereas the other series, I'm not sure if they had lower budgets, lower time, or what it was, but ultimately, like, it was either a question of the adaptation, because webtoon is inherently as a medium shorter in terms of length than manga, right? You know, I would say that one webtoon chapter is about half the size of a typical manga chapter done weekly. And so when you have something like God of High School, which was a webtoon to anime adaptation, paced out so poorly, I think they tried to fit in like 100 chapters in like 13 episodes or something in that ballpark. It was not great. It felt like you were running through like a time chamber, sprinting through the story as fast as possible. And, you know, Solo Leveling is fast paced and all that stuff, but it does it and it's adapted in a way that at least feels for the reader or for the viewer, in my opinion. And then for a lot of the other ones like Noblesse or Tower of God, in my opinion, the animation was just not quite there. I mean, a lot of the people who watch, especially shonen in the US or in the global market, care a lot about the animation. I think that fluid animation, especially for action sequences, are going to be really important if you want to get an audience in the anime space. Otherwise, you know, in my opinion, it's like, why wouldn't you just read the manga or the webtoon? But yeah, I mean, I think Solo Leveling has a lot of other things going for it. You know, you have a really weak to strong character that then becomes OP. People tend to love OP MCs. There's a lot of like power, wish fulfillment readers who really love to watch stuff like Solo Leveling. Obviously, some people just watch purely for the fights. I don't think a lot of people, in my opinion, are watching for like some sort of emotional arc as much as they would like another series like Free Ren or Apothecary Diaries, right? Those have more like focus on like character arcs and that kind of stuff. But Solo Leveling, there's like a minor character arc, which is like weak to strong. But in my opinion, past a certain point, there's not much development of Sung Jin Woo's character, but there's a big focus on him just being badass and just wiping out enemies and being badass, right? And that's okay. Like that's, you know, that targets a different audience from the Apothecary Diaries type stories. Solo Leveling, the way it's paced out, is extremely binge worthy. There's nothing more addicting than the way that, again, even the way that the webtoon or web novel was written, it's just extremely binge worthy. And A1 Pictures has done a great job of, again, taking what Studio Redice did, which is, again, some of the best are in webtoon, and adapting it to animation. I think that if they had tried to copy what the webtoon had done, it would be really hard to animate. And again, the Solo Leveling anime looks distinctly different from the webtoon, in my opinion, especially in terms of color, less glossier color, less brightness, but it still looks and feels very fluid, and they really focus on the animation. It's not like another anime, Blue Lock, which again had really detailed characters, but the animation was not quite there. You know, I think that if Solo Leveling, for example, got the Blue Lock treatment, we would not be talking about it. Now, what is my opinion for the future of the webtoon to anime pipeline? You know, do I think that there's going to be more series like this? I think that there could be. It's tough because Solo Leveling is really the biggest action webtoon out there, and so like naturally they dumped a lot to make sure that this series is successful. When I think about other webtoons that are perhaps in Solo Leveling's shadow, you know, I think that there's going to be, if they try to adapt a bunch of these webtoons that are just Solo Leveling clones, and don't give proper budgets and time to make it good, I don't think that they'll be successful in my opinion. But I think that there's a lot of series out there that are in the webtoon space that have potential in the anime space to be successful. It really is all about the productions and, you know, how high quality of those productions are. You know, I don't think that people are going to watch a Solo Leveling clone if the animation's not good. If I'm being honest, if the animation's not good, I don't even think Solo Leveling would have succeeded, right? I think that if there are going to be more webtoons coming out, it's really going to be on, you know, both adapting it in a way that feels like you're addicted, similar to Solo Leveling, very fast-paced type storylines tends to be what webtoon excels at, but also from the animation standpoint, especially for the action space, like how that action looks in animation, right? If it's not fluid, if it's not appealing, if the characters don't look good, then I don't think that those webtoon to anime series will succeed. And again, we've seen that over and over again. I don't think God of High School or Tower of God have bad storylines by any means that wouldn't succeed in the anime space. I think that if those webtoons in particular were done with the same care that Solo Leveling is being done, then those could have succeeded, in my opinion, at the same level as Solo Leveling, honestly. And yeah, that's my take. I think that honestly, any medium can be adapted to anime well, as long as you have strong animation and strong productions and the writing is adapted in a really strong way. A lot of conversations are talking about how Solo Leveling is the proof of concept. It is now the proof of concept that webtoon to anime productions are possible and that there is a viewer base for that type of story. So it's not necessarily a story issue with regards to the webtoon space. It's more of, is it adapted right? Is the animation done right? But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Solo Leveling. Are you guys checking it out? What do you guys think about the anime adaptation? Do you guys disagree with me in terms of my predictions of, you know, the webtoon to anime future pipeline? We're going to be seeing a lot of stuff, by the way. You know, T-Bait's coming out, Omniscient Reader's coming out. They're announcing a ton of other webtoon to anime productions. So this is definitely not the last one we're going to be seeing. So we'll see how a lot of those ones turn out. Now, I'm going to be making a new video on T-Bait and my predictions as well. So again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's a long one. I love talking about Solo Leveling, but yeah, make sure to drop a like. And if there's any other topics that you'd love to get my opinion on from more of an educational or analytical standpoint, as someone who creates in this industry, please let me know in the comments. I'll catch you guys on next week's video. Peace. Boom.